Hello, this is Joseph from Gorilla 3D. In this screencast, we'll be using Java's Swing interface to go ahead and create our own GUI for our application. The application we're going to be creating is a Celsius to Fahrenheit converter. And to get started, go ahead and click on go ahead and click on File and then New Project. Then the wizard will pop up, and then click on General and Java Application and click on Next. And for our project names, go ahead and name this converter. And then go ahead and click Finish. And our project will build and give us some source code. And all we need to do after that is simply click on our project name, right click, and select New, and then JFrame Form. Now the class name that we're going to name this is, just name it the same thing, converter. And the package that we're going to use right here, which is package, is converter. And simply click on Finish. Now what we are starting to look at is our actual frame of the window, and then we get our button from source to design, and that simply lets us view the source as being created from our designer. So to get started, go ahead and click on your JFrame within the inspector on the left side. Then go ahead and navigate to the right side where it says Properties, and where it says Title, click on the empty box on the right side, and let's type in our title, which is Celsius to Fahrenheit. And all this is doing is naming the window when you see it popped up. So where you see Netbeans IDE 5.51 beta, it would actually say Celsius to Fahrenheit. Now let's go ahead and start to populate our frame here with some controls. The first control that we're going to add is a Jtextfield. So go ahead and click the Jtextfield once, and then go ahead and go back over to your frame, and it will drag it around for you and put it where it snaps. The next thing is to take a label right here, a J label, and put it right next to our text field. Take a J button, put it right below our J field, and one more J label, and put it right next to our J button. So first thing we're going to do with our label here is go ahead and extend that to be the same size of our button. And we're going to go ahead and remove the text by double clicking on the text field. And that will bring us into edit mode, and just go ahead and hit backspace to remove the text and enter to confirm it. Again, we're going to go ahead and do the same for the button, double click, and we're going to name this button convert. And our first label on the top right, we're going to name this Celsius. And the table, or the label below, will be Fahrenheit. Now you see it pushed over our Fahrenheit, so let's go ahead and move it back over so that aligns with our label right below. Now that we have the things named and set, we can also just reduce the frame size so it won't come out with a big old window. The next thing we're going to do is go back to your inspector, and as you can see, it says when you click on Jtextfield and it highlights the text field, it says Jtextfield1. These are the variable names within the source that you'll be messing with. Let's go ahead and change this so we can actually have something to remember that's a little bit more easier. So let's go ahead and rename this to degreesTextField, and let's name our Celsius label to Celsius label, and lastly our Fahrenheit. Let's go ahead and convert that name to Fahrenheit label. And if you want as well, you can change your button to say it's convert button. Okay, now that we have our UI set, we're going to go ahead and start programming our events. And the only event we're going to need for this is simply the button event. So go ahead and click on your button here, and then right click, go to Events, Action, and Action Performed. Basically, this is saying as soon as this is clicked on, execute the source code, which we are now going to edit. As you see, it throws us to our source code, and we can start editing it. The first two things we're going to need, or the first things that we're going to need to do within this actual function here is to get the degrees that's been inserted and then multiply that. And then after multiplying, set the label Fahrenheit to correspond to our results. So let's go ahead and type in an integer, because that's what it's going to return, and say temp Fahrenheit equals, and we're going to say we're going to get our Celsius, or not our Celsius, but our degrees that's within the text field. And we name that degrees text field. And to get the text within it, you just simply type get text. And then the conversion to convert Celsius to Fahrenheit is actually 1.8 plus 32. And the problem with this is that this is a string, and these are integer and a float. What we need to do for this, not an integer and a float, but well, yeah, more or less. What we need to do is convert the text that we got here, which is a string, into a double. So let's go ahead and type Double.parseDouble. And this is basically converting our double here into text. Our text into a number. And let's go ahead and add one more bracket and create a new line for this. Tab it over, and that would be a result. One last thing that we need to do now is, because this gives a double instead of an integer, let's go ahead and name this convert our result to an integer by typing brackets int, and so say that our result will be an integer. Now the last step we're going to go ahead and do is go ahead and set our label for the Fahrenheit to reflect our new converted Fahrenheit. So we do Fahrenheit label, which is what we named our Fahrenheit label, and set text. And then we type in temp Fahrenheit plus quotations and add a space, and let's go ahead and retype Fahrenheit. Forgot one more bracket here. And that's basically it. I'll go ahead and put this source code on the side of the YouTube video, so you don't have to type all this out. If you didn't change the names that I've named them as far as the labels and stuff. So then the last thing we'll go ahead and do is go ahead and right click on our file that we are editing and simply click on run file. This will go ahead and compile our file and then run it. So now as you see, we get our window here that pops up, and it gives us our actual design that we had designed. And now if we type in 10 degrees Celsius, we get 50 degrees Fahrenheit, and you can expand the window if it's cut off. And again, you can type in 30 degrees Celsius to get 86 degrees Fahrenheit. And that is the basics of using Swing UI to develop your applications.